What's the deal with all these sunken ships found in the Baltic Sea? Is it just bad luck or something more sinister? Welcome to my channel, More Cultural Stories. Number 10. The Kaliningrad. The most recent discovery was made by Swedish divers who found a World War II German ship sitting at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The ship was discovered to be the Kaiserlich Deutsch, also known as the German Emperor. It sank back in 1945 after being bombed several times by the British. It went down near the Danish island of Bornholm with 26 crew members on board. All of them died when the ship sank in less than 10 minutes. It was carrying a cargo of oil, coal, and steel, as well as ammunition for the German war machine. The cargo was so volatile that even the fish around the wreck seemed to avoid it. Divers have seen schools of fish completely disappear as they approach the wreck. No. 9. The cruel twist of fate. It wasn't supposed to sink. It was only going to transport military supplies from Germany to Sweden. But before it could make it to its destination, the ship ran into trouble. It was spotted by British aircraft and dive bombers were sent after it. The ship was hit 3 times and immediately began to sink. Not knowing the area very well, the crew couldn't navigate the uncharted waters and got lost in the Baltic. They were never seen again until the wreck was located in the summer of 2022. Number 8. Not alone. While the discovery of the ship itself was big news, it wasn't the first ship to be found in the area. There are hundreds of wrecks littering the seafloor, making the Baltic one of the most dangerous stretches of water in the world for sailors. During World War II, German U-boats would hide in the shallow waters, launching surprise attacks on merchant ships passing through. When the Soviet Union joined the war, the area became a battleground between German and Russian forces. Many ships were sunk during the war and never recovered. Then there's the problem of piracy. Even today, the waters of the Baltic are considered unsafe because of pirates. In 2017, 4 pirates were arrested after holding a Swedish ferry hostage for 10 hours. In 2018, 2 more pirates were caught trying to hijack a different ferry. 7. Recent discoveries. With so many ships having gone down in the Baltic over the years, it's no wonder why new discoveries are being made all the time. In 2021, the oldest shipwreck ever discovered in Finland was found off the coast of the country's southwest. It was a wooden ship built in 1580, found 120 meters underwater. The ship likely sank after running into a sandbank, causing it to crack and eventually fall apart. And in 2022, the largest warship to be lost during the Battle of Caron-Sabes was found off the coast of Romania. It was the 367-foot-long HMS Dreadnought, which had been searching for Russian warships when it struck a mine, causing it to explode and sink to the bottom of the Black Sea. 6. The Ghost Fleet. One of the most incredible discoveries was made in Latvia in 2003. That year, 150-year-old schooner was discovered resting on the seabed just off the coast. The ship was originally called the Atlas, but its name had been changed when it was sold to the Russians. It sank in 1886 after colliding with another ship. The bodies of the 8 men who died in the wreck were never recovered. Other ships like the Louisenborg, which sank in 1928, are still being searched for. This ship disappeared without a trace, leaving behind no wreckage except for a lifeboat that washed up on the shore the following morning. 5. The Curse of the Baltic. Some believe there's a curse on the Baltic Sea. Maybe it's the water itself or something else entirely. But the fact remains that ships continue to go down in these waters to this day. A cargo ship named the Baltic Leader ran into trouble while transporting 200 tons of sawdust from Ventspils to Kapellskär. Bad weather caused the ship to take on water and it quickly began to sink. Fortunately, the crew was able to send out a distress signal and the ship was located. A helicopter was sent to airlift the 5 crew members off the ship before it was too late. Unfortunately, sometimes there isn't a happy ending. In 2021, a catamaran called the Apollo was caught in a storm and capsized. Only 1 body was ever recovered. Number 4. The Depth of Danger. The Baltic isn't just dangerous near the surface. Even deeper down, things get pretty rough. On January 2005, a tanker called the Stolt Seaways ran into trouble while sailing between Norway and Lithuania. It was carrying 24,000 tons of fuel when it sprung a leak and began to sink. A distress call was sent out and a tugboat was dispatched to help. But even with the help, the ship was almost impossible to save. Eventually, the tanker had to be abandoned and it sank to the bottom of the sea. It now lies in pieces 164 feet below the surface. No, 3, the curse continues. Sometimes the Baltic seems to have a mind of its own. In 2017, a cruise ship was sailing through the Gulf of Finland when suddenly it sprang a leak. The captain immediately sounded the alarm and passengers were ordered to put on life jackets. Fortunately, the ship was close to shore and passengers were able to walk down a ramp onto the pier, but it could have been much worse. Also in 2017, a ferry called the Finmaid ran into a concrete dock while trying to pull into the port. Nobody was injured in the accident, but the ship did sink. Fortunately, a nearby tugboat was able to pull the ferry back to the surface, but it was clear the ship wasn't seaworthy and it was towed to shore to be dismantled. No, 2, the invisible danger. What makes the Baltic Sea especially dangerous is that you can't always see the danger lurking beneath the surface. Underwater sandbars, rocks, and mines litter the seafloor, just waiting to rip holes in the hulls of unsuspecting ships. And even though there are warning signs posted all over the Baltic, ships still run into trouble every year. In 2018, a massive container ship called the MSC Carla wrecked near the Danish island of Lolland. The ship had been sailing from Brazil to Germany when it ran into trouble. Strong winds caused the ship to lose power, causing it to drift dangerously off course. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the ship was stuck fast on the sandbar where it remained for weeks. Number 1. The newest discovery. The latest ship to be found in the Baltic was a real whopper. A 581-foot-long luxury cruise ship called the Hanseatic Inspiration was on its maiden voyage when it ran into trouble. The ship had left Stockholm, Sweden, and was sailing towards Latvia when suddenly it sprang a leak. Nobody was injured, but the ship had to be towed back to Sweden. It sat in port for several months while repairs were made. But once it was deemed seaworthy, the ship was allowed back in the water. It might have survived the Baltic, but the same can't be said about all the other ships that have been lost to its murky depths. Thanks for watching. Which of these ships was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.